This is my head really close up. Like now. This is so fucking awkward. Awkward. Hello, person that's not in front of me. Let me talk to you. Right. Question number 1. A basic one. Maybe I should tell you my name. No, let's leave that until later. Mystery. How did you become a photographer? Well, I pretended I was one for a long time, and then I became one. No, I'll tell you the story. So, yeah, I started a business with a now friend, but at the time, she was not my friend. I knew her, but I didn't know her, and she came over my house, and it all just happened. She gave me her credit card details. In hindsight, I should have gone shopping online. Didn't. Anyway, so seriously, we started a business called Everlane Clothing, which ended up being really successful in a super short period of time. We ended up in stores like Urban Outfitters, Nasty Gal, City Beach, Dolls Kill, and the list goes on. We were worn by celebrities like Katy Perry. There was one time where Frances Bean Cobain, Kurt Cobain's daughter, bought something from us, and we Google Earthed her house. And then we just sent her a heap of shit. And she ended up wearing it to like Coachella and stuff like that, which was sick. Anyway, so we started a business in big stores. It all happened within the shortest period of time. We had our first campaign shot by Melissa Finley, which kind of helped us so much. She's such a legend. It ended up blowing up. The photos were amazing. We did this competition where you won one of each of the collection, one piece of each of the collection, and it just went crazy. Like, we came in at a really good time where Instagram wasn't oversaturated with brands and online stores and competitions and loops and tag this, tag that, hashtag, all that sort of stuff. So it just kind of blew up. Within a week we had 30,000 followers, and yeah, it was crazy. We our first collection was really based around like Japanese street style Harajuku kind of stuff, mixed with like the 90s. There was a lot of like sunflowers and like swing dresses, crops with yin yang, tie-dye. It was, back then it was cool as fuck. Everybody was fucking wearing it. It was like super cool festival shit. Now I look back and I think, oh my god, that was fucked. But anyway, we did really well then. It was super great. We learned so much. We were doing everything on our own. We couldn't afford to pay anybody else. I totally get it. Small brands, I totally get it. We were doing everything ourselves. Photography, even though it wasn't very good. Styling, graphic design, making the website, doing all the sourcing, designing, you know, everything. Absolutely. Wholesale, accounting, everything. And it just got to a point where it was just too much. It's really hard to 1 minute be an accountant and chasing up invoices, and then the next minute put your creative hat on and be a designer, a photographer, or think creatively at all. It's just so hard and really fucks with you. And we both got to a point where we either needed someone to put money into the business, or we were just out. So we decided to go overseas to Bali and step away from it all. Did a little bit of sourcing over there because we just didn't know how to not work. But we just had a really good time, and just when we got home we just decided that we had had enough. Like, it was just taking a toll. We weren't spending enough time with our families, and it was just too much. So yeah, we decided to sell it. We sold it to the first person who offered us cash. which now we probably could have gotten so much more money, but it was just, we were done. We were so done. And during that time I was doing all the photography and the graphic design and stuff, and when I left I decided that I was going to do a graphic design course, and I started it and I quit just before the census day because I found that everything I was learning and everything that was in the curriculum was things that I already had learnt myself, and I had taught myself to do all those things through YouTube and blogs and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, I just didn't want to waste $20,000 on doing it. So I decided not to do it, and I decided to focus my energy solely on photography. So I just started creating content, just working with friends of friends, just shooting anything I could get my hands on, shopping at the op shop because nobody knew who I was, so they weren't going to send me out samples. So I was just styling things from my wardrobe, from the op shop, from wherever I could get it, people who own stuff. So I was just hustling, doing as much work as I possibly could, collaborating, chatting to old photographers, and kind of trying to get my name out there. I think the best thing I did was just kept shooting no matter what, and at some point I got better, and people wanted to start working with me, which is cool as fuck. We'll go on to the next question. Tips for people starting out. Collaborate. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. Now, the word collaborate makes me want to die because I've done my fair share of collaborating. Actually, I lie. If it's a sick idea, I'm totally into it, but I like money. Anyway, when you're starting, you need to collaborate. Collaborate with anyone you can fucking get your hands on. Talk talk to influencers, talk to models, do get in contact with agencies and just shoot models. It doesn't have to be heaps overdone production kind of thing. Start pared back, just have a girl on the street in a basic outfit and just start doing portrait kind of stuff, and just create as much content as you possibly can, and working with as many people as you possibly can, using different types of light, locations, studio, natural light, all that sort of stuff, just so that people can see all the kind of work that you can do. Find your style and stick to it. Pick an aesthetic that you love to work with, because if you're doing things that you don't enjoy, it's going to come across in your work, and you're going to get over it. You want to do something that you're interested in and work with brands that you're interested in, and do ideas that you're interested in. I think art, you have to have 100% into it. You have to be 100% into the idea, otherwise you just look back onto your work and it sucks. Practice as much as you can. I think I said that before, but like I said, collaborating, even just sitting in your room watching YouTube tutorials, watching different YouTubers, all that sort of stuff, and practice on a photo frame. Take a photo of a photo frame, take a photo of a vase, take a photo of whatever you can using the light that you have, and practicing using the manual settings and all that sort of stuff. I started off using just the settings that were on the camera, like the outside, the portrait, the night, and all that sort of stuff. But then I moved on to, I was watching a lot of tutorials, and I started to feel a lot more comfortable using the manual settings, and learned that you don't shoot on a JPEG, you shoot RAW. That was something that taught me a lot. Way better editing. Read blogs, what you do. Yep, I said that. Don't feel like you're in competition with other photographers. That is so important. Don't feel like you're in competition with them. I feel like we should all collaborate and be able to discuss together. the ways that we work, and I feel like you should can ask all the photographers questions. Like when people message me, I always try and answer their questions. Obviously I'm not going to go, this is exactly how I edit my photos and this is exactly how I take my photos, because that's something that you need to work on your own. I feel like it's okay to give tips about how to use your camera and all that sort of stuff, but I feel like editing your photos is something that you need to work out on your own, and it depends on the kind of style that you're shooting. You need to figure it out. Like, I mean, there's so many tutorials that you can watch online. I will link some below that I really like. There's a YouTuber, I don't know what his name is, but his channel is called Flern, and it's just so good. It teaches you so much, like frequency separation, how to use Lightroom, all that sort of stuff, resizing, everything. So that's basically my tips. Don't feel like you have to get the best of the best camera when you start out. Like, my camera cost me like $600, and I think it was like a great camera to start. And you don't want to, overwhelm yourself by starting off with this big camera with all these functions and all that sort of stuff. Start off with something that's easy, that's going to help you, and don't go spending $4,000 on your camera straight up, because what if you decide you don't like doing it? Also, the reason why I didn't go to school to study photography is I felt like for me it felt more organic teaching myself how to do all these things, because I was learning in my own time. I don't really like school. I did okay at school, but I just don't like having to do assignments and stuff like that. It's too much stress and I don't like it. So I just felt like it was a more organic way to teach myself, and I feel like I am as good, if not better, than some of the photographers that have come out of photography school. I mean, you can teach a person how to do everything with a camera, teach them how to be a photographer, but I mean, if you don't have the eye for it, you're never gonna be good. Anyway, I've already answered this question, but I'll say it out loud again. What camera did I start with? I started with the Canon 60D. It is around $600, don't quote me on that. And it came with a basic lens. It was 18 to 55mm lens. And I was using that for a really fucking long time before I even decided to look into other lenses. Actually, I had the most basic 50mm lens ever, and 50mm is just life. Doesn't matter how much it costs, 50mm is what you want, especially for photos. Anyway, that goes into my next one. Favorite lens to use. My favorite lenses to use are prime lenses. 50mm 35. I own the Sigma Art Range lenses, and they're amazing. They're super affordable. I think they're around $1,000 each. Don't quote me on that. I don't know shit. But yeah, they're super affordable, and they're fast and they're sharp, and they're just amazing. I love them. The camera I have that I use is a Canon 5D Mark III. I also have a Canon Mark II, 5D Mark II. I use that as my backup camera now. I was using that for a long time and it was really good to me. But stepping up to the Mark III is just honestly the best thing I've ever done. How do I edit my photos? I use Lightroom. At the start I was using Visco filters and stuff like that, but I've kind of made my own filters and stuff, and I kind of use a mixture of them depending on what I'm shooting. So it's really good to kind of start off, like I said, with something basic that you can use, and then you can in Lightroom you can change it around, but then move on to your own and kind of figure out how you like your photos to look and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I use Lightroom, and then depending on how crazy you want to go, I might move my photos into Photoshop and, you know, do some frequency separation and edit the skin a bit better, especially if it's kind of like studio stuff, and I want it to look a bit more refined, rather than sort of like my outdoor stuff where it's a little bit more raw and kind of film-like looking. I also had a girl message me on Instagram saying, what did she say? She said she dropped out of school to pursue her dream of becoming a photographer and stylist, and she said she was starting a certificate in photography and photo imaging in February though. How did you get to your level of success and where should I start? Please reassure me that I haven't royally fucked my life. What is on my nose? Is that a hair? What is that? You have not fucked your life if you are willing to work hard. I think that the decisions you make are dependent on you. I mean, that's sick. I'm really stoked that you've decided to, you know, drop everything and pursue something that you're really interested in. I think that now it's all down to how hard you're willing to work to reach your goals. I think, you know, follow the steps that I said before. You know, not everyone's gonna be successful, but I think you need to, just like I said, collaborate, work with whoever you can, practice, watch a lot of YouTube channels, and ask a lot of questions. Always ask a lot of photographers questions. Some are a little bit rude and don't want to give away their secrets, which is fair enough, but I think it's always nice. I was recently just added to this random group on Instagram, and it's just like a group of photographers who post share a picture that they just posted so that they know you know about it, so that you can go and have a look at it and like comment on it, like you're encouraged to comment on it, so that kind of like your engagement's better, and people are saying nice things about your work. I thought that was really cool. I don't know the person's name who started it, but thank you. You are very kind, and it's a great idea. I am enjoying myself. Anyway, more questions. Maybe I should talk about myself. Let's talk about myself. My name is Marisa, and I am 27 years old, but I look like I'm 15. Jokes. I have a daughter who is almost 5 in April. She's a bloody legend. She's my best mate, top chick, because I raised her. And I have a husband who's also a legend. And yeah, don't know what else to say. Maybe I could just make this really short video and have you not have to look at my face for a really long time.